Hello. So I'm popping on today. I had somebody ask a question, which I thought would be good to share here too, because I think it's probably something that is more common today now that people are bringing their children home from public school, given the virus situation, and trying to teach them at home. So the question was about children who are in school, and then they come home because of COVID-19, and the parents are trying to teach, but the children are resisting. So they're complaining and they don't want to sit down and do the work and so forth and so forth. So this situation usually happens, one, because the children are not trained to listen to you. So if there's any authority issues in the family, if the parent does not hasn't established proper authority with their children, so the children are not used to doing what they're being told to do, of course you're going to have this problem. And so the root cause is that you've got to establish yourself as the authority in your home, and you have to train your children to be obedient towards you, right? And so you do this with love, you do it with discipline, you do it with training. It's really training in character development is what it is. So so that's one thing. The other thing though is that when a child is in school, the teacher becomes the expert. Like I remember this very well when I was in public school. If the teacher tells you something and then your parent says something different, you see the teacher as the expert when it comes to anything to do with school, right? And so you have these children who have been in the public school system or maybe even in private school, and so the teachers are their experts, and now they're coming home to mom or even dad, and mom and dad are supposed to be teaching them, and so they're not seeing them as the authority in education, right? When you homeschool from the beginning, your children are used to you being the teacher. They don't know anybody else, so they trust that you are the expert, and you are. But, it's different when they've been in the system. So in that case, what I would do is I would not start out with a full day. Now, I know a lot of people are on online learning. I do want you to know you don't have to do that. You're actually totally within your rights. You can work something out with the teacher. I've heard a lot of parents are working things out with the teachers where they're just letting them kind of do their own thing and so forth. So you can do that. And you also can just withdraw. I mean, you have that right as a parent. You don't have to have your child into this online programs. So, but let's just say that, so we're just going to say you've now brought your child home, you're now trying to teach them, they're resisting and they're not being super obedient. So you first want to get the obedience thing. You want to get the authority, obedience, balance in place. That's the first thing you need to do. But my advice in this situation where the children aren't used to sitting down with you, just take it slow. We have this tendency to, just kind of immediately start doing this public school at home where we think we have to be teaching for 8 hours a day or even 4 hours a day. Just take it really slow with them. You have to establish the relationship with them first. You've got to establish the teacher-student relationship. So you're the teacher, they're your student. You've got to do that first. And I would do it really slowly. I would just start out half of an hour a day. And I would let them know, from 9 to 9:30, we're going to be studying, right? I wouldn't say school. Say homeschool if you want, or say study. Definitely don't say school. We're going to be studying, and so from 9 to 9:30. So you want to stay disciplined in that. Make sure you stick to those times. It's just going to be much easier when the kids know what to expect. So 9 o'clock to 9:30, and I would just do something super simple. Maybe teach them grammar at that time. Whatever you can do in a half of an hour. But the point is, you're just keeping it short and you're keeping it sweet, because what you're doing is you're establishing the habit of your children studying with you every single day, at least 4 days a week. I'm not a big fan of, not taking breaks. You have to take breaks, otherwise we get burnout. So 4 days a week is good. All right, so my homeschooling courses, I don't want parents, homeschooling all the time. I want them to have breaks. I want the kids to have breaks. I usually recommend 4 days a week with a fifth day for fun stuff. So always educational, but fun, right? I mean, learning is fun. I mean, that's what this is all about, really. So that would be my suggestion. And then as you get that habit going, as everybody gets used to it, then you're going to slowly build up the time, right? But don't just suddenly start doing, a full curriculum with them from day one, because you will get resistance and it's going to be overwhelming for everybody and you're going to get stressed out. So just slowly, start out slow, the habits. All right, so I wanted to share that with you today, and I will be back next week. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.